Hey there, it's Tony Butler, and today we're going to talk about corporate digital marketing. And that includes SEO, content marketing, social media, inbound marketing, and everything else that companies lump under the digital umbrella. We're going to go over some of the most common mistakes, myths, and misconceptions about it, and the one thing you can do to improve it. Before I do that, please click on this video, and if you haven't done so yet, please follow the channel. I'm going to be sharing with you everything you need to build a content marketing system for your business that will help you scale. Whether you're a startup, SaaS, manufacturing, e-commerce, hospitality, B2B, B2C, it doesn't matter. Primal storytelling is a content marketing system for humans, and that makes all the difference. Okay, so digital marketing, what on earth am I talking about? Digital marketing is all the things we do electronically to connect a brand with an audience in order to help make your sales. So this includes all the strategies, tactics, tools, and channels that have developed around it, like email, SEO, content, social media. Okay, so we've lumped a lot of different things in there, but here's the thing. Digital marketing depends nearly 100% on the content that you produce. What your brand publishes will determine the performance. If you improve your messaging, everything else will improve. So focus on the content. In the last few years, many brands have misunderstood what is happening online and how to do well digitally. I think it's because in the early days, so many companies were jumping on the bandwagon of, be part of the conversation that Twitter started, where you're tweeting every day, you're putting things on there. I think companies just started pumping out pure crap for the sake of pumping out crap. Vacuous, say nothing content that didn't help anyone do anything. They started publishing what we call non-relevant content, which in some cases it's not a bad idea. Non-relevant content is something a brand that's going to develop and publish that doesn't have anything directly to do with their product or services. But with no strategy or thought, like publishing quotes, or you're just, publishing the industry news, or, I think another thing that a lot of companies did is they banded together and they started sharing and resharing each other's horrible content. And so you just have this never ending loop of sharing and resharing basically nothing. It's infotainment, but as a buzzword, but it's just worthless content. In the 24-hour news cycle, it hasn't helped. Instead of allowing silence to fill any void, we feel like we've got to fill it with something. And so since they need filler, they just create stories out of thin air. And brands are doing the same thing. If you're publishing without a strategy, you're wasting your time. If you're sharing content just to be part of the online conversation, not only are you wasting time, but you're contributing to the noise. You're making it worse. Why do you think corporate pages on LinkedIn and Facebook do so poorly? It's because the content, for lack of a better term, it just sucks. It's horrible. Okay? It's polished, it looks good, but it just doesn't say anything that's useful to a human. A lot of times brands are still focused on publishing for a search engine, and so you read the blogs and you're like, who is this written for? Well, it's written for the search engine itself, not a real person. So the other mistake they're making is they're publishing all about themselves, or it's that kind of bland corporate speak that doesn't really say anything to anyone. It's written for everyone and therefore no one. They haven't. Most brands haven't stumbled on this idea, and this is something that I'm pounding on it. I'm going to get this into the marketplace. Is the idea of creating a value theme and producing something for a very specific audience. And I cover this idea in a lot of my other videos, but the idea behind a value theme is create serialized content around a central topic that's helpful and interesting to the brand's core audience. Okay? You're going to create a storyline. Think of it like a Netflix special. It's got many, many parts. It's all related to the same thing, and it's for someone. It doesn't have to be directly related to what your brand does. I think companies get too narrowly focused on the idea that everything has to be promotional in nature. What if it was just deeply general interest and helpful to the audience? As an example, if you own a hotel in an area that has an interesting history, you could publish a history piece for people who are planning to travel to the area. It doesn't have to have anything to do with your property, but If the program is done well enough, it'll help build a relationship with potential guests ahead of time. You could do a 10-part series, a 20-part series on history and different things around it, and who visited and who was there and how did it happen, and all those things. Just make it really, really fun. Another example of non-relevant content really working for a brand. I worked with a construction permitting company in New York City, and we published a series of pieces for them on architectural history and interesting places related to buildings and interesting places like within New York City. So we helped them develop many pieces on semi-relevant content, such as architectural history of Times Square. There's a tunnel system under New York. We wrote about that. We wrote about how the street lighting in New York City went from gas lighting to electric, and some just interesting things about the old gas lights. And those pieces were not directly related to their business, but they were interesting to their client base, okay? And some of those pieces they did very, very well, and the content helped them build domain authority. So they had good things they could share on social, so people were coming. Eventually it indexed, and they were getting some semi-relevant, non-relevant traffic, but it just built out their website and made it robust, and it gave them something interesting to share with their audience. It broke them out of the noise of the industry. And here's the thing everyone asks, did it help them sell? And the answer is yes, it helped them sell. How did it do it? Through image magnification and lead nurturing. By producing content at a different level, it separated them from their competitors, and it'll separate you from your competitors. It's a soft type of nurture campaign, a non-promotional touch that helps you stay top of mind with clients. And as their email list grew and having good content to help nurture the list, it became more important than ever. As a salesperson, if I have a really long sales cycle, let's say it's 6 months, 9 months, you have some in some industries even longer. I'm always trying to have a good excuse to reach out to a prospect that's more than just, hey, are you ready to buy? Are you ready now? Are you ready now? The difficulty some companies have with publishing a value theme is not directly promotional, is the urge to measure every dollar against lead generation campaigns. What's the ROI is the constant question, but did that blog, did it sell something? Did that single blog by itself, did it bring in new business? And it's just the wrong way to think of it. It's not unreasonable to question it like that, but it misses the point. Influence, staying top of the mind with clients. It's a modern day type of brand awareness, but you're directing it at a small audience. In the old days, the biggest brands wrote advertisements just for brand awareness opportunities. Think of like Coca-Cola and the Coca-Cola bears, the Christmas bears. You got these bears and they have little hats on and they're sledding and doing all kinds of stuff. They created those bears as something entertaining with broad appeal. They understand they need to keep a connection with their audience, but what are they selling? They're selling soda pop. They're selling Coke. The commercials are pure brand awareness, and in my opinion, one of the best examples of really well done, promotional but non-relevant content. For smaller brands, their corporate content becomes a modern day type of brand awareness. It's low cost, and if it's done well, it can have real longevity. Let me give you another example. Imagine a local brand that has a sport-related retail outlet, or maybe it's for kids in some way, like a bike store or a shoe shop, or maybe a local virtual reality video game company. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It can be anything. You want to start a blog and use it to promote brand awareness and nurturing of individuals in your local area. Okay. So for a few $100s and a little research, you could develop a campaign around. You could create a local directory for available scholarships. There's lots of scholarships in communities that no one's ever heard of, and they have a hard time finding them. Okay, so tips and tricks to find the different scholarships, resources to help local kids apply to college and choose a college. You don't even have to offer the scholarship yourself. You could. You can make a small scholarship, say $500, or if you don't have that much money, $250. It doesn't matter. The amounts don't matter, but the amount of publicity and goodwill you can have by focusing on something that's important to the core audience and the influencers around them, the parents, You can have an amazing campaign and it has nothing to do with your core business. That's a value theme. That's what you want to create, is this value theme, and it's serialized content. So there you have it. Don't contribute to the noise in order to be part of the conversation. Be a creator. Make something that will help your target audience and make the world a better place. And if you make the world a better place, you'll have a better place to live for yourself. Okay, so that's it for today. If you're struggling to build out a content marketing program for your business, you need a value theme, you're not sure where to get started, or you just want a little extra direction in the campaign you're already doing, share a link to your website in the comments. I'll take a look. I'll give you some ideas on where to start on a value theme, free of charge. You can also message me on Instagram. It's Anthony L. Butler, or shoot me an email, anthony@candoideas.com. And I will absolutely help you. I answer all my own email. Okay, until next time, good marketing to you.